Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be talking about returning back to work after childbirth. Now, I had my son 2 years ago now, and one of the things that I struggled with was how would I, go back to work? What would I need? What am I going to do? And just the entire mental struggle of figuring out how to exclusively breastfeed him. If I wanted to, childcare, where would I put him? How would I cope and all of that. And in this video, I will be talking about my own experience, and hopefully you learn one or two things from it. So when I had my son, I wanted to breastfeed him exclusively for 6 months, but I had just 3 months of maternity leave. And how did I do it? Well, a few things. First of all, I had to figure out childcare. Where would he stay when I go back to work? How would I even cope? How would I breastfeed him? How would he take milk if I'm not around and things like that? And so the first thing I would say is with childcare, getting a good daycare is really important. Well, it could be a good daycare or having someone who would be available to help you, take care of your baby when you're away, and someone who you can trust. For me, I didn't have anyone around me, after when I was about to resume work 3 months after, right? I did have, family come over while I was on maternity leave, and it was really helpful. However, everybody goes to their houses at some point, right? But some of us are lucky to have maybe mothers-in-law, our parents, siblings, and all of that are available to help. But in case you don't have anyone to help, your next best option will be to use a daycare. Now, getting a good daycare is really important, and a few things you look out for really when you're trying to get a good daycare for your child would be, of course, the environment. Is it play? What does it look like? Is it in a fenced environment and all of that? Another thing to look out for would be where your child would be staying, the room where your child would be staying. You need to ensure that the floor is wide cable. And I'm saying wide cable because your child is going to mix with children from different places, germs and all of these things, right? And so you need a place where the floors can be disinfected, right? So maybe a tile floor or a carpet and all of that would be a good option. But then again, you have to think about tile is a very hard floor, right? So if the child falls down, what happens? So some daycares have some sort of cushioning on the floors to ensure that when the children fall down, there isn't much impact on them, when they are playing and all that, right? So that's something to look out for. You should also ask for a daycare that has a freezer or a refrigerator. That's a fridge that has a freezer. And why? If you want to still breastfeed your child or have your child take breast milk while you're away, you need to ensure that the breast milk could be kept in an environment where, it doesn't go bad or doesn't come in contact with germs. And a freezer is such a perfect equipment to have, right? The daycare should have a freezer or a fridge at least that has a freezer that can hold frozen or cold milk for you. Another thing is to look at how many people are caring for those children in that room, right? There should be at least a minimum of 2 people caring for children, because it really is impossible for just one person to care for babies all through the day. It can be overwhelming for them. Even you caring for your own child is overwhelming, let alone having multiple children to care for at the same time. So how many caregivers are available to cater to the children? And also, what's the ratio of caregivers to the babies? If there are lots of children, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, there should be at least 2, 3 people caring for those children at the same time. Also need to check their restroom, and all of that. Another thing is you need to ask if the daycare has a functioning CCTV camera, because there's a difference between a CCTV camera and a functioning one. Some daycares would even allow you to have access to, the camera while you're away. So it gives you extra peace of mind to, check on your child when you're at work or when you're away, so that you can see what they're doing and all of that. So these are some things that you need to look out for. Also look out for a daycare that has, good barricade. Do they have staircases in close to where those children are? Or do they have proper doors and all of that? Because children are going to crawl, they're going to play, they're going to want to explore the environment. So just safety, hygiene, and just overall care is important. And hopefully you find somewhere maybe close to your place of work or close to home. Now, for me, I chose a place close to home because my husband, he still works mostly remotely anyways. But at the time when we had our son, he worked 90% remotely. So I preferred to choose a place that was closer to the home, just in case I get stuck in traffic, in case I'm unable to get to him, early enough. My husband picks him up from daycare and sometimes he drops him. And so we just really juggle that together. So the next thing I'll be talking about are some of the tools you would need, honestly, when you're going back to work. First of all, at your place of work, you need to check a place where you can express breast milk. Expressing is so important because I feel like now I was able to exclusively breastfeed my son for almost 6 months, maybe 5 months and like 3 weeks. I just allowed the 1 week gap to be able to start trying him on new food since I was going to stop exclusively breastfeeding him in like a week, right? So I just wanted to try out a few cereals and options that he might like and know what to stick with, right? So getting a place at work where you can express, right? When you're expressing, you might need to open up and all of that. So a place that is conducive, that you also have the privacy as well is important. And your organization, maybe just also being able to use the freezer at work. Just try to see if it's possible for you to carve out like a little corner for yourself in the freezer. Or maybe in the fridge, the freezer part of your fridge, whatever. Most organizations have kitchens, and in the kitchen, there are freezers. So you have like a bag of something, like a Ziploc bag where you can keep your frozen milk, and then so that even if the milk itself comes in contact, the bag itself comes in contact with other food items, it doesn't get contaminated, right? So you need to think about a breastfeeding room. It might not be a dedicated breastfeeding room, but a clean environment where you can breastfeed, and also a freezer. Now, I would like to show you a few equipment for tools that I used in the course of my own breastfeeding journey as a working mom. Now, I had the option of working less than an hour. So let me explain that. So in my organization at the time, it was either you resumed 9 o'clock because work resumes at 8 o'clock, or you close at 4 p.m. because the normal closing time was 5 p.m. So I decided to go to work earlier and close early as well. Go to work early and close early. So I was working 8 to 4. And I was working on the island. I live on the mainland. And so, there's a bit of distance and all of that. So you had to think about that. And I'll just be showing you a few. I had these items here that helped me on my journey. The first one would be breast pumps. You need breast pumps, right? Initially, I was using, now this is a hands-free breast pump. And initially, I was using this non-hands-free one. Let me put it that way. This electric pump. And it was so stressful. And I wish I had gotten the hands-free pump earlier. So you need a hands-free pump to pump breast milk, and if you can get 2, even better. I ended up just getting just one, but it's even better if you can get 2 of this hands-free breast pump. But if it's one you're able to use, it's fine as well. I used one and I survived. Another thing you would need would be storage, right? So in these storage cups, there are 6 of them there. I'm going to show you what the cups look like, but I think I bought about 6 of these packs, so I had like 36 cups to store breast milk. And I'll tell you why I had to buy so much, right? I had to buy so much because I wanted it to be that. So this is what each cup looks like. I wanted it to be that each time, I have a specific quantity of this cup that I'll take with me when dropping my son. So I'll probably take like 5 or 6 of them. And each breast milk will contain just enough to feed a child at a time, right? I didn't want a situation whereby when they feed him with breast milk, if there are leftovers, they sort of feed him with the same breast milk or they keep him back in the freezer. No, but they feed him just once out of it, even if it doesn't take much. I needed it to be discarded, either for safety and just for hygiene purposes, right? So he had one per feed, so I needed enough, and I ended up buying this ones. Initially, I was using the breast storage bags, or what I'll call maybe pouch, right? But I realized that for me it wasn't sustainable. I didn't have a market where I could buy it like that, right? And I think what made me to opt for this option, which is the reusable storage cups, really was the fact that I was running out of the pouches and I was really trying to figure out where to buy. Man, when I saw that it was becoming a hassle for me, I just researched, reusable storage bags or something, and then I saw this. I bought this at ShopRite, ICM actually. And when I said, I basically packed as much as I could so that I wouldn't have to start looking for alternatives after that. So I bought about 6 packs of this, and as I mentioned earlier, there are 6 inside. So this is washable, and you can also sterilize it as well. And I just like the simplicity of it. The measurement is also by the side of the cup, so you can know the quantity of feed your child is taking in. So you need storage cups, right? Another thing you're going to need will be like a cooler bag to take to your child's school, and also another cooler bag or something to store your breast milk while you're coming back home, like in transit, right? So that the temperature does not drop and you can quickly transfer that into your freezer when you get up. So freezer to the storage bag, and then back to the freezer at home. Another thing that helped me, right, would be this breast pads. As we all know, leaking boobs are an issue for every breastfeeding mom, and especially when you're just, when your baby's still young, the breast milk is blowing. For those who, our bodies are different, right? Not everybody would lactate at the same rate, but for those who really lactated well, I lactated well. I needed breast pads. Initially, I was using the disposable ones, but man, I'm like, nah, I can't think buying disposable breast pads. So I bought a lot of this, right? A few pairs, and I could reuse them, and they were quite effective. Sometimes I had to double use 2 at a time, right? Sometimes I had to change when this got, really wet and all of that, but I had a lot of these breast pads. So the next item I'm going to be showing you would be the breastfeeding bra, right? You need these bras though, because when you are sitting down breastfeeding at work, you need something to hold your breasts, right? So what I'll normally do would just be, wear it. I'm not going to wear it in this video, please, but really just use this to hold to secure the breast cup. So it was quite helpful for me. These are some of the things that I used that helped me. And when I was making inquiries about the daycares, I really had to ask them that, look, I want to breastfeed my child exclusively. How can I do it? And sort of just worked out a way, which is what I explained earlier. I'll take, they probably fed in like 5-6 times in a day, maybe at 2 hours interval. So I'll just take 6 of this, and then you defrost it in warm water. When it's maybe like 30 minutes or like 40 minutes or 20 minutes to when you feed, you bring it out for it to defrost, and then just put it in warm water. There was no need I didn't want them microwaving this, right? So use hot water. Oh, I also had a flask, a big giant flask that I had to put hot water in so that it could defrost the milk inside, and then you just feed him afterwards. I hope this helps. You mom out there thinking about just going back to work and trying to figure out, how would I breastfeed, how would I cope? It can be daunting, it can be really exhausting, but I promise you, if it's something that, as mothers, we will do what's best for us and what's best for our children. If you really desire to go back to work, here, these are a few things that you can try, and it will just make it a bit easier for you. In Nigeria, there are several, different maternity leaves, right, for everyone. Some people have 6 months, some people have 3 months. I've seen a woman who had just 2 months. Another one had 4 months. So it really varies, and it can be a challenge, figuring out how do I go back to work and all of that. And I promise you, the first few months of work, for me, I was like a zombie. I wasn't sleeping well at night. I was tired all the time, but I really just powered through. And when I had my son, I asked my mom, who had 4 children, I was still working, how she did it. And she was like, well, she just got through each day. So hang in there, mama. And I hope that this video helps you to sort of figure out what is best for you. And I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for listening. And please share this video. It's not just for women, right? If you have it could be a husband watching this to help his wife. It could be a brother for a sister, an uncle for your niece, a cousin for your cousin, a brother for his sister, however it is. Share this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.